Guys, today I'm going to answer a question from a viewer who's completely frustrated and not sure as to what her major is going to be. I think a lot of you can probably relate to her. She's also admitted that campus advisory or career counseling has been very, very unhelpful. So let me give it a stab. Guys, ready? Check this out. Hey guys, it's Brian back at you with another video where my goal is to mentor you to a rewarding career to help you create a life you're proud of. And in that endeavor, today I answer a lengthy email from a fellow viewer who is really struggling in determining what her major is. And we'll go through that entire email line by line. But before I do, I want to encourage you guys, if you have a career question or you're not sure what major to major in, or if you want some questions around dating and relationships, you definitely know where to find me. I'll answer them in a future video just like this. It's called 101mentoring.com. And if you want to know more about me, you're like, who the hell is this Brian guy? Why is he giving me advice? And what does he know? Well, you can definitely check out my credentials either on linkedin.com. I'll have links in the description down below, or in my bio on my website. I talk about why I make these videos for you guys, and also what my intentions are and how I really want to help you all. Now, all my videos are free advice, and if you really want to work with me closer and you want to do a deeper dive into your situation specifically, I also offer one-on-one mentoring sessions. We can tackle a specific topic specific to you, or we can talk about other areas of your life, such as choosing a college major, career prep. I have specific courses on that as well. You can definitely check out all the details on my website, 101mentoring.com. Just go to the products and services. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about this email. This email comes from someone by the name of Hannah. And the subject is, I don't know my major, exclamation mark. So here it goes. This goes, hi Brian, hope all is well. I am well. It's been busy and I'm really glad to be making videos again. I am Hannah and I'm 20 years old. To tell you about me, I am a fixer, as everyone says. I always tend to find a solution and cannot move on until I do. I love helping people and feel that it is my purpose. I know for a fact that I do not want to be in any science field, even though I've considered being a therapist or studying psychology at some point. I just feel that it is maybe hard for me because I don't have much interest in science or math. So I've been interested in the humanities section, mainly between law, sociology, political science, or social work. Getting into my second year in university now, after trying a bunch of potential major courses, ticking some off. I'm left with law and sociology just based on my opinions that I doubt. In the long run, I know law and different cases interest me. I was 70% sure I wanted to be a lawyer, but after coming to university, everyone tells me how hard law school is and that there are a lot of readings in it, which I'm hesitant about. Because I don't like doing a lot of readings. I tend to get bored. I'm more of an active social person, but I feel it is inevitable. I have to get over that in some way because it is the same for every major in the humanities. Yes, you're going to have to do a lot of reading in that area of focus, but it's going to be a lot heavier in law school. Sociology, I considered it would help with working for NGOs, which is like a nonprofit organization and stuff. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to help people dealing with hard situations. And I see myself giving legal services until I'm successful enough to give free legal services for women, young or single mothers, abused women, etc. That I think this would make me happy. I hope you get a chance to see this. Thank you for the opportunity to send this. My repetitive visits to the academic or career advisory on campus have been really pointless. No kidding. Tell me about it. Those guys sit in the cubicle all day in the academic world. They have no experience outside of that. So how the hell are they going to give you experience or tell you what to do after you leave university? They have no idea. They're busy just telling people how much credits to take. They're giving pamphlets from other organizations. It's like they just sit in that environment day in and day out, earning a paycheck. I'm sorry, I'm being kind of direct and maybe a little bit mean, but that's the reality. They're not out there working, so how the hell are they supposed to know what opportunities exist for students? A little bit of a rant, but it's true. All right, gosh, there's a lot here. First of all, I will say that you don't really have an explicit question. You do talk about yourself, but there's no real specific question you're asking for here. And I dealt with other people in your situation, and I can tell by the frustration and the different directions you're going. I genuinely believe that in this case, it'd be great for us to connect in a one-on-one session. I don't normally tell people this to actually do it, but in your case, I think it'd be something that you should look into or at least consider. But hey, no pressure either way, and I will do the best to answer your situation given the information I have here. And I'm going to talk about some things here that you probably haven't even thought about, but I think it's important for you to consider. Number one is, how are you paying for your education right now? Because the fact that you are kind of struggling means that you may probably be in school for longer than you want. I feel like just because you're all over the place, you're probably going to be staying in school longer. So my first question to you is, how are you paying for your education right now? Because the last thing I want you to do is rack up your student loan debt to a point where by the time you graduate, you can't afford life. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't afford a mortgage, you'll be in so much debt that you can't really establish your footing financially for a successful life. So that's number one. How are you funding your education now? And if you are funding it through student loans, we really have to have a strong game plan in the short term to get you out of college with some level of experience and to get you on a set plan. The hit on you financially will be as minimal as possible. That's number one. Number two is, what is your anticipated salary after you graduate? Because you talk about working in the going into the humanities, into sociology, helping people out. And in my experience, those aren't high-paying jobs. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. Everyone has an idea of how much salary they want to make after they graduate. And some people are okay with $30,000 a year. Some people are okay with $150,000 a year, right? It really depends on what you want to do, but that's something to consider when you're choosing your major, okay? I really want you to start thinking hard and seriously about your plan B, and also what are your career options, and also what your anticipated salary range could be with these types of degrees. That's really, really important to think about now, because it also answers my first point, which is, how are you funding your tuition? If you're going to come out with $60,000 in student loans, earning and your salary, you're on track to earn a salary of $30,000 a year or $40,000 a year, something's off, right? Like, that's something you have to really be cognizant of and start thinking about today. All right. The other thing I really like about what you've done is you've really ruled out degrees that you don't like, which is awesome. And I'm really glad you're doing that. And I really like that approach and encourage that approach. People, you guys got to start doing things so that you can at least rule those out. Sometimes you can't figure out exactly what you want, but you could definitely figure out what you don't want. And I really like your approach here, Hannah. So kudos to you on that. It looks like you want to get into law school, but you're scared about the readings and the investment and stuff. And that's really why I encourage you to start looking at the salary piece of things, only because you're vulnerable to come out of university and earn a fairly low salary. So I could be wrong, but prove me wrong. Go out there, start looking at options, start volunteering, start looking at your career prospects, and avoid talking to the guys on campus, and start actually doing some work with some NGOs. Start Googling some places that actually help abused women, that want to help young or single mothers. Go out to those organizations, Google them, pretend you're one of them. What would you do to seek help? Reach out to those organizations and start talking to them. Ask them about what they do, how they help, what kind of salary ranges there exist, and volunteer for them. Like, get exposure immediately. And that will really answer some of these questions I have for you. And you might realize, you know what, the biggest way I can contribute is to become a lawyer. And if you genuinely want to help these people, that is what's going to fuel you to get past hatred or lack of desire to want to do all this reading. If you really want to help these people, and if you really genuinely have a passion for it, it'll get you past that initial hesitation of reading a lot. You may realize that you can contribute the most if you had a law degree. And you might not be able to offer free services today. And it might be something that you can do 20 years from now or 15 years from now, but that's okay, because right now you're setting yourself up for the right path. Maybe you want to be a lawyer and you're willing to take on the extra student loans, but because it's going to fuel you and give you the income that you need, you're going to earn 6 figures a year. You're going to save up money. You're going to watch your expenses. And then you're going to really create a name for yourself, and then you can help these other people. That might be the path for you. I have no idea until you do your other homework about finding out what are the available options for you today. And in order for you to figure that out, is you actually have to go out there and start reaching out to these organizations or to these companies or to other lawyers and say, hey, you guys help underprivileged women? What do you do and how does that look like for you? Talk to them. Get out there, take them up for coffee, send them an email. And if you don't know how to do any of that and you're a bit struggling, go to my website. It's called The Unfair Advantage, the free ebook. It's primarily focused for people that want to find a job, but I think there's a lot of tidbits and strategies there that you could utilize in order for you to search what are the prospects that are available for you. Another point is that you may be under the guise that you have to find a major today. You're in second year, you're probably under the pressure that you have to choose a major. And I get that, but you know what? That's fake pressure. That's pressure driven by the institution, by the college, by the university. But in the grand scheme of things, they want your money. They'll want you to stay in school for as long as possible. So to be honest, there's a vested interest in them in you not knowing what your major is. And whatever pressure that they tell you in order for you to declare your major soon isn't really true. And if you need to buy yourself an extra semester or two, do it. But keeping in mind all the other things I said, how you're paying for your student loans, if you need to get on track of what your salary could be, and how you're going to build out your plan, right? And sometimes buying more time and investing a little bit more time in college might make more sense. But these are all the areas I'd love to explore with you on a deeper level. And that's why I do go back. I think we really need to have a one-on-one mentoring session. So those are the key things to consider. But if you're trying to answer the question, should I go into law school or not? I think you know what your next steps are based on the advice I've given you. There is no clear-cut answer as of today based on the information you've provided me. But what's really important for you to watch out for is that you don't get yourself into university, spend $80,000 and earn $50,000 out of that. You do not need a lengthy degree plus student loans to earn like a $40,000, $50,000 salary, right? So I really want to set you up there. And this is probably the least of your concerns right now. Maybe your parents are paying for your school. I have no idea, but regardless, I want you to be very, very cognizant of this. So I think you know what your next steps are. Based on that, come back to me, shoot me another question and update me through the submit your question avenue, and I can get to it in a future video. But really the best way is to do a one-on-one mentoring session. So I really wish I could have done more for you. I really wish I could help you out more. Given the lack of information, given the lack of your specific situation, it's really hard for me to do that for you. I really want to, but this is the best I've got so far. If you like the advice, please hit that thumbs up button. If you really enjoy the tone, the directness of my advice and my approach, and you want to learn more from me, hit that subscribe button. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I totally understand the frustration that Hannah's in, and I really want to help her out. If you guys are in a similar boat, you know where to reach me. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.